I'm Jade Blair, kind of worker online and in person, and yeah, there's definitely some things I will not do in a bedroom no matter how much money you throw at kink. So, kink is very broad, right? There are hundreds of thousands of ones out there, and it would take me all day to list them all. I'm just gonna kind of generalize and say I don't do kink. Now, there are some that I do, but they're ones that are more tame, like feet. And yes, in my position as an escort, that is considered quite tame. We often have a lot of clients get really shy and have this huge build up. They're like, oh, I don't know, like this is a bit weird. And we're like, what is it? And they're like, I just want to like kiss your foot. And we'll be like, oh, that's all. I thought you were going to ask for scat play. And that's not to say that everyone's into it or it should be something that you have to be into. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, sure, there are some more minor, I guess, kinks that I will do, but for the vast majority, it's not my thing. I don't want to do domination or submission or humiliation. I don't want to call you names. I don't want to do small penis humiliation. I'm a girlfriend provider. And if you're looking for something really specific, that might mean that you need to communicate with your provider before the booking, or expect a very kind of standard vanilla booking where you can discuss those kinds of things that you're after if you're in a more criminalized setting where you can't have evidence of asking for that stuff. Number 7, dirty talk. In my OnlyFans journey, I have really been trying to get better at dirty talk, and I think I'm a lot better over text than I am in person. I get quite flustered, and all I can really do is, that feels good. I like how this is. You look so hot. That's so sexy. That's about it. That's the depth of my skills. When someone wants to kind of build a fantasy with me through dirty talk, I can really struggle to do that in person, and I just get really clinical and awkward. Also, without prior negotiation and discussion, it can be very hard to understand what is just dirty talk and what is I actually want to do this with you. Because there are some things I might be okay talking about with a little bit of warning, on the understanding that it's just a fantasy. I'm not actually giving you permission to do that thing to me. But a lot of clients don't think about this, and so they bring up these more hardcore dirty talk scenes and expect me just to go along with it. And they're like, but I would never ever actually do the thing. And I'm like, well, you didn't tell me that. If you're asking to fuck me raw, I'm going to assume that's what you're asking me. You're not just talking for talking's sake. The thing I generally am okay with is if a client wants to dirty talk to me, but not expect much of a response. They more just want like moans or sounds. That doesn't bother me too much, except for when they take it too far. People don't understand where their kink sits on the scale of extremeness. I had this one client who all of a sudden just started spurting out white pussy is the best pussy. And he was a darker skinned client, but I felt so uncomfortable in that situation. I had to completely disengage, and he said, it's fine, like I'm black, I can say that. And I said, that's fine, you can say that, but I still get to consent to whether I want to be a part of that or not. And I don't. I feel deeply uncomfortable with it. Number 8, squirting. So here's the unfortunate reality. Some women can squirt. Some women can't squirt. It's kind of a biology thing. You're either born with the ability or not. But there are a lot of guys out there who just expect all women to be able to squirt and get incredibly frustrated and upset when they physically cannot. And I think a lot of this is maybe porn and also people just not taking responsibility and educating themselves, along with just the disaster that is sexual health and biology education in the West on women's bodies in particular. What has actually happened in the industry is a lot of escorts end up just drinking a whole lot of water beforehand, making sure their urine is really clear, and just peeing on their clients because they want them to squirt, but it is physically impossible for them to, and the clients get really upset. Now, I don't agree with this. I don't think this is okay. Don't go peeing on people without their express consent. That's rude, for a lack of a better word. But please don't demand or expect your escort to squirt, because it probably won't happen. Number 9, fingering. A lot of escorts don't allow this service, and it's for a very good reason. I've been in this industry for 6 years, right? And for 3 of those years, I worked at a brothel and I did provide fingering as a service. And I didn't really like it because more often than not, I would get injured. Minorly, but still injured. And having chatted to a lot of escorts in the industry, they had the same experience. A lot of guys just don't think ahead and don't really prepare for it. You really have to wash your hands if you're sticking things far up inside the vaginal canal, because you are going to give us bacterial vaginosis or thrush all the time. And it's awful. And a lot of guys don't understand how to wash their hands properly. Particularly, I've seen it more with like people who are mechanics or work a lot with grease. They get chafing and calluses, and then all the grease kind of gets stuck in those little bits, and they wash their hands with typical soap and it doesn't really get out. And I understand the frustration of that. That's not really their fault. It's just kind of the conditions that they live in. But it's still there. Even though you can't get it out, doesn't mean it's not there. When you then put that inside us, you make us very, very sick. And it is awful to deal with, and try and explain to a client that, yes, I understand you washed your hands, but they are still dirty. I can see the dirt. The other thing is guys often don't cut their nails, and they often end up literally tearing us from the inside. Yeah, it's really fun when you start bleeding and they freak out. Also, they just don't know what they're doing. A lot of guys use their fingers the way that they use their cock, in that they go really, really hard. Imagine like this is my vaginal canal, this is their fingers, they're doing this. Look at that, I can't even keep my fingers together with the force of what's happening. It's not so much even the fingers, but this part here that's pushing onto the rest of our pubic area. They're literally punching us. Do you see that? Punching. Ow, it hurts. And if you want to do that for 5 minutes, I'm going to bruise, I'm going to get sore, I'm going to get swollen. Gentle is the key here, guys. Number 10, and this is the big one, I will never do a sexual act with a client without a prophylactic. Yes, they are absolutely required to wear condoms for penetrative sex, whether that be vaginal or oral, because I don't want to get sick. But not only that, I don't want my other clients to get sick. A lot of clients who engage in natural sex services, they don't understand that there are clients out there who don't want that. And they think that they have the ability and right to demand that all escorts have to do natural sex, or they'll simply run out of business. And they try to tell this over and over again, particularly to newer escorts, to try to bully them and frighten them into providing natural services. But guess what? It's not true. There are a lot of clients out there who want natural sex services. That's their prerogative. But there's also a lot of clients who don't. Clients who have wives and children. Clients who are immunocompromised. They have cancer. They've just recently had a heart transplant, for instance. And clients who just don't want to get sick. They have work to do. They have jobs. They have families. They have lives. So there are a lot of clients who specifically see me because they know that I am not going to have natural sex, whether that be oral or vaginal, with anyone. So they feel a lot safer being with me. But anyway, thanks for listening to my rant. Until next time.